Flip it out.
When you hear the word robots, the first thing that comes to mind may be Transformers or R2-D2. However, to students in the Technology Student Association, a national group that competes in engineering and technology education events, the word means something very different. To them, robots are machines designed for specific functions. Using robotics kits prepared by VEX Robotics, students from middle school to high school engineer remote-controlled cyborgs to accomplish assigned tasks.
Let's do like this. Let's just use this, like right across.
For some of NCHS's TSA members, it was an interest in this type of engineering construction that drew them to the club.
Well, I just like building things in general, and I always thought, I guess, like robotics was more advanced, like Legos, kind of. So I figured, why not join it?
Yeah, cut a metal one. Why metal one? Because we don't know if we're actually going to use these, do we? Yeah, we are.
Since its founding only 8 years ago, the club has grown immensely and now includes 6 members from all grades.
Our major success is really building up this club. I know that I'm a senior right now, so I'm leaving next year. So, I mean, when I was a sophomore and a junior, I never really had this kind of team. So hopefully that when I leave, you know, when Hunter becomes a senior, he can have even more success with this club.
To prepare for competitions, the team collaboratively builds one robot to perform the required VEX task. The process of building a robot requires lots of enhancements and small changes along the way.
They don't really think through the process well enough, so it's more about trial and error, you know, learning through their failures, which is a great way to learn. You just try to teach them that process so that there isn't as much failure or learning through failure, but learning through the process.
After observing a robotics competition, the club learned new ways to improve their robot and make it unique from other groups.
So every good thing they did, we tried to take that in and take that into account. Every bad thing that didn't work, well, we know now what won't work and what does work. So in the future, it'll help us in our designs.
One of the challenges the club faces is getting their designs to function as intended.
So you're saying something inside of it expands to create friction?
Like, you may plan one thing and you think it's a great idea that you have, but you build it, think it's going to work perfectly, and it fails.
You can build something and it may work mechanically, but if there's friction there, the system isn't going to move.
The thing resting on top of the box. To your left. Put your hand out. There you go.
In order to get their robot competition ready, students work for hours after school.
Some nights we stay here till, we were here last night till about 8 o'clock. So sometimes there's long hours, and usually the long hours come just before a competition. So we have a competition this weekend, so we'll put in some long hours this week to make sure that we're ready for the competition.
So what we're doing is we're creating a system that can move back and forth. If you see, if you rotate this, just it's not tighter, so this thing will move back and forth.
During a competition, the robot may dysfunction, so the club must prepare with extra parts.
The day before a competition, you have to think of anything that can go wrong. You have to plan for that. You have to bring parts. You have to bring motors. You have to bring anything that you think will fail in the robot. You have to bring spare parts for.
Despite occasional malfunctions, the mishaps help the students learn to produce more successful robots in the future.
Occasionally we run into, we're doing more fixing and repairing than we are actually competing, but that's okay too. It's all learning.
Many people confuse the robots built by TSA to be futuristic machines from movies. However, to the members, they are a product of weeks of meticulous work.
You know, a lot of people think it's battle robots or something like that, but really it's really an art where you can engineer and design and then see your product really do something physically.
Just because of science, if you have telekinesis, you can also mind read and make yourself fly.
Yeah.
Because if you use telekinesis on yourself, you fly.